Hello Channel NITT viewers, I am DS, your psychologist, and welcome to another episode on Channel NITT. In this episode, I am going to evaluate the utility of ChatGPT. So the ENTJ as an individual has a very unique perspective of many things. So after knowing that many people are putting online their interactions with ChatGPT, I also downloaded ChatGPT and see if it is up to my satisfaction. The first thing on my mind is, does ChatGPT have exclusive knowledge? So what do I mean by exclusive knowledge? So each one of us must have been very proficient in at least something. We have expert knowledge in something. Maybe it could be cooking, fishing, TV, that kind of a thing. So I want to know whether ChatGPT knows something that only a select exclusive group of people may know. So if ChatGPT actually knows it, I will be impressed. So I've identified two areas in which I would consider myself to be an expert in. While spirituality is something that I am very interested in and I have a very keen opinion about, I think that it is very hard to prove or refute or talk about certain aspects of spirituality without having some form of a factual basis. So I am now going to fall back on two of my other specializations. So I will consider these other two subjects to be something that I am very familiar with, that I can talk freely about and I know quite a lot about. First one would be gambling and probability. The second one would be psychological research. So my first question was actually an observation of Asians in a casino setting. So I found that a lot of Asians, when they gamble on the roulette, particularly the Chinese, they really like to bet on the number 28 and 29. Actually, I know why this is the case. I want to test ChatGPT if ChatGPT knows it as well. So I asked ChatGPT this: why do Asian gamblers, particularly the Chinese, who play roulette, like to bet the numbers 28 and 29 so much? ChatGPT's reply was, I can't find any statistics on statistics and factors that would support your hypothesis, thus I can't make any assessment. So I presume from this output, ChatGPT is basing its analysis based on data. So the things that ChatGPT says is somewhat data driven for this context. So I continue asking, presume this hypothesis is true, what would your explanation be? ChatGPT's reply is, the Asian population, particularly the Chinese, tend to keep a low profile in social situations. These people do not express their needs clearly or give much thought to their own actions or wishes. We can conclude it is just one of their idiosyncrasies. My God! Well, if I were to mark this question like a lecturer does, I think that this student deserves some form of a credit for the ability to smoke or the ability to throw a fork and make it seem as if it is a reasonable answer. But obviously, you know this is not a reasonable or logical answer. It's just like brushing everything away as an idiosyncrasy. But of course, this just means that ChatGPT does not have exclusive knowledge in this area. Do you want to know what the actual reason is? Well, the reason is really related to dominoes or pai gao. In the game of pai gao, when you have a 2 and you match against an 8, any 8, you get a gong. And if you have a 2 and you match against any 9, you will get a wong. A gong and a wong are considered very powerful hands. So when a traditional Chinese player in the past, they switch from dominoes and start to go to the roulette just for some fun, they really want to buy 28 and 29 because 28 and 29 in the game of pai gao are really very strong, powerful combinations. And not forgetting, they might also like to play 36, which is Jijun. But because 28 and 29 are really very close on the roulette wheel, on the wheel itself, for the European roulette, so it makes it very easy for the punter to just concentrate on that region and hope that their area strikes. Of course, in this case, ChatGPT does not have this exclusive knowledge yet. Maybe it's not something that many people know. That's why it is not readily available on the internet, but I presume ChatGPT will soon get to know about it and maybe the answer will change. Next, I asked a question that has to do with psychological research. which of these people, Hokkien, Teochew or Cantonese people, are the most intelligent? This question is not meant to be one that tries to discriminate. Now, ChatGPT's answer is, in general, mainland Chinese people, that is, Chinese people living on the mainland, are very intelligent. Of course, in this case, I am totally not satisfied with the answer. It doesn't even qualify as a smart answer. It's like going obviously off tangent or out of point. I am talking about each individual dialect groups amongst the Chinese. However, in this case, ChatGPT is subsuming them again into one whole. So sometimes you may even need a university level or master's level individual to be able to analyze this kind of a question. So ChatGPT does not have this kind of a competence yet. Or maybe ChatGPT does not understand the question. I'm not too sure about that. The way to approach this question is to analyze these dialect groups according to their historical background. That's one way. So most Cantonese people are in Hong Kong. Then we would consider maybe other provinces in China, Taiwan. They are more Hokkien oriented. We can compare the currency to see which currency is bigger or larger, or their historical background in the development of their province or their city, to see which one is more successful, and that could be an indicator of intelligence. Alternatively, you can also analyze language, the Hokkien, the Teochew and the Cantonese language, how many different words there are evolved from Mandarin itself. So I understand in many dialects, there are a lot of words. They are actually not Chinese, mainstream Chinese words. We can look at the complexity of language and deduce intelligence from there. Otherwise, straightforwardly, you can just get different dialect groups to do an IQ test and compare results. So while this question may not have been researched, I also expect that ChatGPT knows how to approach this question. In this case, ChatGPT is totally off tangent. So I decided that maybe ChatGPT has not developed higher order skills yet. So I want to test now whether ChatGPT has deductive skills. So in this case, I just asked ChatGPT a very simple question. Name a place where it may not be common for people to want to take photographs in. ChatGPT's answer is a funeral or a funeral home. I think this is an excellent answer. And if you had typed this question into Google, it definitely will not be able to give you this kind of a response. So in this regard, I think that ChatGPT has at least some level of deductive skills. Because if you had asked this question to any single individual out in the streets, they may also not have the intelligence to give you funeral as an answer, which is actually a very, very good answer. So all in all, I think there's a lot of room for improvement for ChatGPT, and it will always only get better. I'm not really excited about ChatGPT. I think that many people are going to abuse it, especially stupid students or lazy students. The ability to deduce and write logically may not be well developed. So ChatGPT definitely at this moment does not display a very strong TE orientation. So TE is not good for ChatGPT, but SI maybe. There's some deductive skills, so I would think that TI is there as well. But no TE yet. Down the next episode, I am going to ask ChatGPT for something else, and we will see how it goes. Okay, if you have enjoyed this episode, do give us a like. If you have not subscribed, do consider subscribing so that we can give you more ENTJ, INTJ and fun stuff. Okay, I'm going to sign off now, and I'll see you in our next episode. Bye bye.